Jeffrey Wayne Newberry Sr. was a man known for his warmth, dedication, and the quiet impact he had on everyone around him. A devoted husband, father, and respected member of his community in Tamarack, Florida, he lived a life full of purpose and connection. Yet, on the 14th of December 2025, at the age of 69, his life came to a sudden and unexpected end, leaving family, friends, and the wider community in shock. Questions immediately arose: what happened? And why so suddenly? Memories and stories poured in, but the mystery of his passing lingered. Today, we explore the cause of death, wife, family, net worth, career, and lifestyle of Jeffrey Newberry. We are going to uncove the life behind the headlines and the story that shaped him. Jeffrey Wayne Newberry Sr. was born on the 24th of February 1956. His life spanned nearly 7 decades, a journey marked by family, community, and personal achievements. Tamarack residents remember him as a steadfast figure, someone whose life was intertwined with faith, service, and love for those around him. Even before his death, Jeffrey's story was quietly impactful, though largely unknown to the wider public. But with his passing, the details of his life, both personal and professional, came into focus, revealing the layers of a man whose legacy extended far beyond the ordinary. Jeffrey's cause of death, though officially reported as natural, left many close to him in shock. While no prolonged illness had been publicly documented, his departure on the 14th of December 2025, at the age of 69, was sudden and abrupt. This sparked conversations among friends, relatives, and the local community, all eager to understand the circumstances that led to his untimely demise. At times, such sudden losses highlight the fragility of life, reminding us that even the most grounded and reliable individuals can be gone in an instant. For those who knew him, the question was not just how he passed, but how to continue life without his steady presence. His funeral arrangements were held under the care of James C. Boyd Funeral Home, reflecting the respect and dignity that Jeffrey earned in life. The visitation took place on Friday, December 19, 2025, at Lighthouse Worship Center, a location that held significance for him and his family. The following day, a funeral service brought together those who shared his journey. Friends, family, and community members gathered not only to mourn but to celebrate a life that had been lived with intention and devotion. Through the ceremony, a clearer picture of Jeffrey's life began to emerge, from his relationships to his accomplishments, and the impact he had on those around him. One cannot discuss Jeffrey Newberry without mentioning his family. He was a devoted husband, a father, and a grandfather whose family formed the core of his existence. Though his wife's name is not publicly highlighted, those closest to him describe a partnership built on mutual respect and shared values. Together, they navigated the complexities of life, supporting each other through challenges and celebrating milestones. Their bond became a central part of Jeffrey's identity, reflecting a life built on love and commitment. Beyond his immediate family, Jeffrey's influence extended to friends and acquaintances who often remarked on his warmth, generosity, and reliability. Jeffrey's children, like him, were impacted deeply by his passing. His role as a father was not merely biological. It was nurturing, guiding, and supportive. Sources recount the ways in which he balanced authority with kindness, instilling values that would serve his children well into adulthood. It is said that his presence was constant, providing reassurance, advice, and a sense of security. Even after his passing, his influence on his children and their decisions remains evident, a testament to the strong foundation he built over decades of careful parenting. Financially, Jeffrey Newberry's life reflected stability rather than extravagance. Though no public records suggest a celebrity-level net worth, he accumulated a respectable estate over his lifetime. His financial decisions were guided by prudence and responsibility, ensuring that his family was well provided for. Beyond material wealth, his true legacy was the relationships he nurtured and the respect he garnered within his community. Wealth, for Jeffrey, was measured not in dollars alone, but in the depth of his connections and the strength of his character. Jeffrey's career, while perhaps understated in the public eye, was one of dedication and reliability. Over decades, he built a reputation for diligence, professionalism, and an unwavering commitment to his work. Though specific details of his profession are less widely documented, those familiar with his career describe him as someone who took pride in his contributions, whether in business, community service, or mentorship. His work ethic and integrity became defining characteristics, influencing not only those he worked with, but also his broader community. Lifestyle-wise, Jeffrey Newberry led a life grounded in values, faith, and family. He was known for his steady demeanor, his preference for simplicity over ostentation, and his commitment to the people he cared about most. While he may not have sought the limelight, his presence was felt in countless small but meaningful ways, from acts of generosity to quiet mentorship. Jeffrey's lifestyle reflected a man who prioritized substance over spectacle. His daily routines, hobbies, and community involvement painted the portrait of a life lived intentionally, a model of consistency and thoughtfulness. The impact of Jeffrey's passing extends beyond his immediate family. His community in Tamarack, Florida, felt the absence of someone who had quietly contributed to the social and emotional fabric of the area. Messages of condolence poured in from neighbors, friends, and acquaintances, each reflecting the subtle yet profound influence he had on their lives. Social media platforms, though not heavily used by Jeffrey personally, became spaces where his legacy could be shared and appreciated, bridging the gap between those who knew him intimately and those who were touched by his reputation. At the funeral service, the outpouring of emotion was palpable. Attendees spoke of Jeffrey's kindness, his mentorship, and his unwavering presence in times of need. They recounted stories of his guidance, his gentle humor, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. In these moments, the breadth of his influence became clear. Jeffrey Newberry's life was not measured solely by milestones or achievements, but by the countless lives he touched quietly and consistently. Friends and family have emphasized the importance of remembering Jeffrey not only for his passing, but for the life he lived. They recall his commitment to his community, his attentiveness to his family, and the depth of his friendships. Each story shared at the visitation and funeral reinforced the image of a man who, while perhaps unassuming, was deeply impactful in ways that transcended public recognition. His legacy is preserved in the memories of those who knew him and in the values he imparted to his children and grandchildren. While his death at 69 may have come as a shock, the reverence and respect shown at his funeral highlight the fullness of his life. Jeffrey Newberry's story reminds us that influence is not always visible on the surface. It is often quiet, steadfast, and enduring. The depth of his relationships, the consistency of his presence, and the care he extended to others create a portrait of a man whose impact cannot be quantified, but can only be felt. The manner in which Jeffrey lived his life also offers lessons for those who follow in his footsteps. His careful financial planning, commitment to family, and dedication to career serve as examples of how to navigate life with integrity and foresight. His lifestyle, centered on responsibility and thoughtful decision-making, provides a roadmap for building a meaningful life that balances personal fulfillment with service to others. In conclusion, the story of Jeffrey Wayne Newberry Sr. is one that resonates on multiple levels. His cause of death, though sudden, marked the closing of a life rich with purpose and connection. His family, deeply intertwined with his identity, continues to carry forward his legacy of love, guidance, and presence. Financially prudent, professionally diligent, and personally devoted, Jeffrey's life reflects the multifaceted nature of influence and legacy. While the world mourns his passing, those who knew him best celebrate a life well lived, a career marked by integrity, and a lifestyle that exemplified values over vanity.